Hi everyone, it's Evan. EDUC 204, Chapter 9. I want to start with highlighting some things on page 292 on the left, the learning objectives for this chapter. Number 1, explain how mass media affect children's socialization. Number 2, describe chronosystem influences, that's the overall systems, all of them, and their influences on media, how new technology affects media devices, content, and usage. Number 3, discuss how various macro systems influence politics, economics, technology, and how those affect media use. There's a great visual on the next page, 294 there. And they are talking about, especially about media censorship, friends going to the movies, things like this. So that's something I really want to focus on here. Number 4, discuss the main concerns regarding the impact of screen media, TV, movies, on children. I wonder why I just had a glitch there in my recording. Pardon that. Describe mediating influences on television viewing and socialization outcomes. We talk a little bit about that too. And then finally, explain how the mesosystems, the community, the school, family, peer group, how those things affect television programming and viewing. So I want to highlight also on page 297, I want you to be thinking about, well, what is this digital generation? Why are we calling something a digital generation? What is that? What is it composed of? Who are digital natives? Who are digital immigrants? These are some terms that have been coming out. What influence do politics, economics, and technology have on the broadcasting media? So I want to focus on a few things here. Why are we talking about these things? How do they impact children? So in censorship, we have an example of that recently in Idaho. The Sherman and Lexie book that is being banned in Meridian schools. Meridian? There goes Meridian. So teachers are putting the book up on the chalkboard saying, please don't read this book. And people are volunteering to buy this book for children, for students. So, what impact does censorship have on that and why? Why do we censor? Obviously, we all censor. You don't let a 2-year-old watch a lot of TV. You don't let a 5-year-old watch violence. I mean, we have censorship and having the important discussions about what's appropriate censorship. When is it appropriate, and when should we be supporting that child or that student's viewing or reading? Many of you talked about the importance of limiting screen time, media time, technology time, whatever we want to call it. It's growing. Technology is growing so fast that we're not having a good name anymore. We used to talk about TV watching, but with the advent of TiVo and Netflix streaming and other forms of movie watching, call it screen entertainment or electronic entertainment, whether it's an iPad, an iPhone, any device, reading a book on a Nook or on a Kindle. Those are all kinds of technology bringing information into our world. So how do we, like anything, how do we limit it? I have to limit my chocolate. I have to limit the amount of cream I put in my tea. So there's nothing wrong with limiting things, but there's nothing wrong with them either. Nothing wrong with some cream, nothing wrong with some TV viewing. Since ancient man, we have sat around campfires and told stories. We just tell them differently now. We now have them in print. We have them in the electronic form, in movies and audiobooks and music. So just like anything, we have to have conversations about what is too much and what's not enough. When you have the flu, it's kind of nice to have a good movie series going on TV, isn't it? When my boys were little, we didn't have TiVo. That hadn't been invented yet. In our home, we didn't have cable TV. We chose not to have that. We had an antenna that brought in PBS so they could watch Mr. Rogers, Sesame Street, and some other forms. But we also had some VHS movies. We didn't have DVDs yet. And we would limit. On Saturdays when they got their allowance, they got little tickets we made. We had fun making them. And it gave them a certain amount of time with screen time. So they could play video games with these tickets, computer games, or watch a movie or watch TV, and they could spend it all in one day, or they could share that over the week. It got a little tricky when, two people were watching a movie. Who pays for the movie? I can't remember how we solved that, but you'll figure that out for yourselves too. So now that they're grown and gone, they complain because now it's just my husband and I. We have cable, so we can watch some shows. Actually, I lie. Now we don't have cable at this point, but we do have Netflix streaming. So anyway, it was great discussions this week. Thank you very much, and so much to be thinking about in Chapter 9 and reading, and think about how you're going to handle this as a parent or as an educator, and who influences these decisions, who decides what goes into movies. If you have time, look up Miss, M-I-S-S, representation, and it talks about the role of women in movies. And that's because of this organization. There's a big change being made about how we view movies, like in Hunger Games. The woman is the hero in that movie. So, all right, everybody, have a good week. Bye-bye.